Hey there, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising. Welcome to your full moon reading. Easy for me to say, right? Full moon reading for Sunday or perhaps Monday, the 5th or the 6th, depending on where you are, in Leo. It is happening at 1:29 p.m. Eastern Time Zone here in the U.S. on Sunday. It is happening at 16 degrees and 41 minutes. That 16-degree point, we've had full moons already. This is the what is this? This is the 5th in a series of 7. This one is part of this event that's going on at that 16-degree point, where it really is about the harvesting of. It is the completing of a cycle to make space for the next and new cycle that's coming along. It really culminates with that the eclipse that we're going to have, the full moon eclipse that we're having on May 5th. That is when the energy really shifts into the new. And so this energy of change that we're shifting through right now is the energy of wrapping up cycles, of completing things. And so what are you willing to complete at this stage is what we're going to kind of look at today. How can you use this energy? That 41 minutes is a 5, which is again the energy of change. And so there's a lot of change and shifting going on here. Excuse me. There's a lot of shifting and changing. All right, so Gemini, you have been kind of feeling a little stuck in place, right, with Mars in your sign not moving, but he's picking up speed, and he's really going to gather more energy, and he's going to get back up to that 3 degrees a day energy very quickly here. Moving forward, you have the card of Be the Change, the sword. There is a decision, there's a choice. So she's looking in the mirror. There's something she doesn't want to do, and she's willing to make a cut, make a change. It feels it's significant, right? She's gone from really having long hair to cutting off a significant portion of it. So there's a new style to this. There is a new style in the way you're approaching things, but it feels very much about something that a change others will be able to see also, right? It's not just an internal change, right? Because even it's going to be reflected out into the world. People are going to see the change that you're making. So you could be changing a job, you could be changing where you live, you could be changing literally the way you look. Maybe you decide this is where, okay, okay, Mars is finally moving in my sign, and I'm ready to make a change physically, and I'm going to join a sports team, or I'm going to get back in the gym or something. It could be something along that line, but it's something that is visible to others, but you're not doing it to impress anyone but yourself, because you have the do it for you. Do it for you. Stand out there, opening yourself up and accepting this change that you want to make. And so this is the challenge. This is the challenge here, is are you willing to make this change that others will see? It gives you the opportunity to rewrite your story. You have the villain card. She's about to crush something here. It is you can always rewrite the story. It's that full moon in the background. It's very emotional energy here. There's something that a lot of times when we make a physical change, it's because there's an internal change going on, and we're ready. I'm ready to show the world that I'm moving on. So you know how it is when we have a breakup. That's usually when, all of a sudden the next thing you know, you're in the gym and you're working out and you're making this physical change, because oh gosh, I'm having trouble talking. So I'm wondering what that means. You're having this change. It's like I'm ready to show it's almost like it's like changing your clothes. It totally shifts your energy. It's something that allows you to feel really good about yourself. It's like I'm feeling ready for this change. I'm ready to make it. So rewriting the story, that means we don't talk about ourselves like we're the victim. We empower ourselves. We step out onto the path and we do the things that we want. You have the opportunity here to be this card is about letting your light shine out there. So there is some kind of a change you're making that really allows you to really shine your light out there like a big old sun and draw and attract to you the new opportunities that you want. And it does. It feels very much like some kind of a physical change for you. And I'm trying to think here. So it's a full moon in Leo. If you are a Gemini rising, this would be happening in your third house of communication. And so there is something about this is the way you are communicating to yourself about yourself and the way you are communicating this out to other people too. So when we change on the inside and we make the change on the outside, we are now signaling to the world, okay, I've made this significant change inside of me, or I'm making it. And I want everybody to get on board and see the changes I'm making. And I'm ready to show everybody what it is I'm up to. And not everybody's going to be a fan of the changes you're making. I do think that there was a winner-take-all situation. There's a lot of arguments. Because this is in the house of communication, the arguments are either going to come in, and honestly, this full moon is very challenging energy. Super challenging energy. It's very explosive energy. It squares with Uranus and Taurus. It's got this energy around being easily triggered by the wounded inner child that goes on over there in Chiron. Jupiter wants to expand this energy out, and so it is an explosive, tense thing going on. The day before this full moon, we have Venus in Pisces squaring Mars in your sign, and so it feels like divine masculine, divine feminine, doing a little head-to-head there. It could be going on inside of you. Venus says, hey, I'm going to stand up for myself, and I'm going to, and Mars says, okay, let's take the action on it. But it is definitely when the energy is at a square, that's a lot of tension. It's almost like things are being pulled. It's an angle though. Like the wishbone, when you pull on a wishbone, one side comes out the winner, the other side's not. And that is that energy around this full moon here. And you have the Five of Swords. You have the Five of Swords clarifying this, be the light. And so and you can always rewrite your story, right? And so the Five of Swords, you see that people are saying mean things and somebody's really sad about it. But down here, there is an open book. There is an open book, and you can choose to see the light in it, and you can choose to be the light in it and walk away. Instead of the winner take all, it's more like, I can't take this anymore. I don't need to be around this energy. So is this a bunch of people that you hang out with that gossip a lot and they just drag everybody down? Is this this argument within the family, within a relationship? There's something, it's very mental and it's verbal. It's both things for you. And there's a group dynamic to it because it feels like a group dynamic. Somehow there's a need for you to show everybody that's not who you are. You are not the victim. You are not the victim. And you are going to make the change that you need to make that empowers you. And so in this very tense energy, it's important to note that what is going on in Aquarius, where the sun is, that trines your energy. So using your mental capacity to think your way through it is very helpful. And the energy of Leo is in the energy of choice. It's a sextile. And that is choosing to empower yourself. That is the choice you make. And so using your mind to clarify and clear out what it is you want to do and how do you want to communicate to yourself first. You rewrite the story there. And then how do you want to communicate it and demonstrate it to the rest of the world? There's a lot of clarity going to come in with this full moon for you. Like you're really going to see things and you're going to see where the change needs to happen. But I think more than that, you're going to say, I am the change. I am making the change and I'm going to do it because this is what I want to do, because it's what's good for me. And I think that being a challenge means that for a while now, especially with Mars in retrograde in your sign, you've been kind of been feeling held back either by circumstances or the way people might view you or whatever it is. There's been really hard to make a movement or a decision. But now Mars is supporting you and Venus is challenging you to stand up for yourself on an emotional level and rewrite your story about what it is you want. So you have this very Aquarius looking card to me. This very much carries the energy of Aquarius here. It is the crystal skull, but it's the amethyst crystal skull. So that's definitely Aquarian energy, and it says clarity, divine healing, and high vibrational energy. Aquarius energy is totally, always supports yours. Always. Fellow air signs are always very supportive of each other. Saturn is wrapping up his time there, creating structure. Pluto's getting ready to move into Aquarius very shortly. You know, I really should, if you'll just give me a moment, because this totally matters to you. This is an important event for air signs. It's important for everybody, but it's going to be very important for you. So March 24th. So right after the seasonal change, Pluto is going to move into Aquarius. He's not going to spend a lot of time there, and he's going to back out, and then he's going to come back in and back out, and then he comes in and stays toward the end of 2024, and then the course of the next, 18 straight years, I think that he's there. That what is going on up there in Aquarius is going to support what you're trying to do. And so you're in this shifting energy here, but by the time that happens, by the time he's fully into that sign, you're going to be feeling a lot of triggering energy from the North Node moving into Pisces and squaring, and you're going to want to make those changes really stick. And so if you will allow yourself to try to think, become a little more clear about the long-range view of where it is you'd like to start heading and start making movement in that direction, you have a lot of support for that this year. You have star being healing codes, important information, wounds are healed, and you're recharging. So, right now, Chiron and Jupiter are pretty much in conjunction. So Chiron is trying to, Jupiter is trying to expand the healing energy of Chiron around the wounding in a fire sign. And so that's energy that's also very supportive of you. That's the energy of choice. So choosing to make the change, choosing to step out of the victim energy, choosing to stand up for yourself and create this healing energy by being your own light, by choosing to let your light shine out there and to rewrite a story of empowerment. And so there's clarity coming in with this full moon. Major information, because you have the clarity here and you have important information, both of these coming through. Seriously, a great light is shining on something, and it's going to be okay, that's it, I know what I'm doing, I'm making this change because this is what I need to do for me, and it will lead to your healing. And so finally, the support of Mars to allow you to start moving something forward in a very major way. So that inner child is coming up again. So this part where you bring the fun back into your life. The part where you wake up in the morning and you say, what do I want to do today that's fun? Right? Hey, inner child, what do you want to do today that would be fun? Let's go do that. Because you have the card of the inner child. Hear and know me. Your inner child is calling to you to remind you it's time to have some fun. It's also time to say things to yourself like, I'm really good at this. You did a great job with that. The way you communicate, because remember, communication is a big part of this, right? This Five of Swords. Is that your own inner voice, that you're hearing the things that were said to you when you were a child that were not positive, that every time you mess something up, you're like, oh, right? You know, the negative self-talk. If you can change that and rewrite your new story where you're beautiful and you're bright and you're, oh my gosh, that is such a great thing. It's like putting everything you do on the refrigerator with a magnet and looking at it and feeling proud. And so what are you saying? How you speak to yourself matters, because nothing affects your life more than the words that come out of your own mouth. And so, because they reverberate through every cell of your body. So you're 70% water, right? They did an experiment where they put these two plants in the same lighting conditions. They were exposed to the same amount of food and water and everything. But what was different was that when people walked through, they were instructed to yell at the one plant and tell it how bad it was and it was miserable and how, what makes you think you're good at anything, and really just mean, right? And the other plant, people were supposed to say, gosh, you're so beautiful. I love the way you look. You make me so happy. This plant grew strong and healthy. This one withered and died. And so what we say about ourselves, we're either making ourselves strong and healthy, or we're slowly killing ourselves. We're withering away. And when we allow what other people say to us to have way too much importance, which plant do you want to be, right? And so can you allow yourself the grace that other people don't know what they're doing? We're all fumbling around in the dark here. We really are. But the more we go within and we find the light within, the brighter we shine out there, right? We can really shine out there. But it starts by bringing the light to yourself first and allowing yourself to change. Looking in the mirror and saying, I am beautiful. I'm worthy of the changes I make. I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to let myself shine out there. I'm going to rewrite my story. The one of empowerment, the one of beauty, the one of joy, the one of love, the one of happiness, because your inner child is trying to get your attention. And so one of the things to do is to start catching yourself doing things right instead of only noticing the things you do wrong. For instance, every week I spend a lot of time doing these videos, a lot of time. If I'm not at work, I'm doing videos. That's pretty much how my life is. But I love the work, so it's okay. But I kind of got behind because I was putting together a program for something else, and so I had to record all 12 videos last Saturday to be ready on Sunday. I started work at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was not done until midnight. Seriously. And somebody put on one of my videos too vague. I get new subscribers every week. I have people thumbsing up. I have people leaving me comments that are uplifting and supportive. And this one comment, which is not, it's a vague comment to begin with. It says too vague. And it bothered me so much. And I thought, why am I letting this bother me? Right? And I thought, all this positive stuff, why am I focusing on the one negative thing? And I feel like that's what they're saying to you. Why are you focusing on the one negative thing when you have the card of blessings and thanks, the abundance of the universe, where you should be focusing on the good stuff, rewriting the story, right? Rewriting the story. So putting it out there, focusing on the good stuff, and remembering that other people are dealing with their stuff, and that's why they say the things they do, right? Sometimes you got to work your way through it, but it's a progress. It's a process, and the more we move toward that, and the more we work on that, the more we get there, and it gets easier, and you don't get caught up in the vortex and dragged down. And so this Five of Swords energy here, this negative energy here, walk away. Walk away from the negativity. I feel like it's primarily coming from within you because of all the inner child stuff here. It was stuff that was said to you that you took in as your truth during those formative sponge years of like 0 to 8. And so you're really being encouraged to catch yourself doing things right, focusing on that. And also, I really want you to start having, I think the clarity is coming in, so take advantage of it, of being able to see a little bit further into the future, about the direction you want to go and start changing and moving in that direction now. Mars is only in your sign, I believe. Well, he clears his shadow, I think, on the 7th. He exits your sign. When does he travel out of your sign? Because when he gets into Cancer, he's not... Mars in Cancer isn't very thrilled, but he's not going to be there very long. He only spends about 5 weeks in a sign, unless he's doing a retrograde. And then you get the nice long journey with Mars. Let's see here. Mars gets into Cancer, right about the same time Pluto gets into Aquarius. So within the day of each other. So that change of seasons is going to bring a lot of changes. So between now and March, while the clarity is there, the moving forward energy is really strong in your sign, allowing this to really move you in that direction of getting the clarity. And then during that short amount of time while Pluto is in Aquarius supporting your sign, you can use that energy to take the next few steps. Okay? And so this full moon is giving you a chance to release the negative self-talk, to release the feeling of being stuck in a situation that doesn't work for you, and to gain the clarity about what it is you want to do next. And then you have a lot of support over the next few months to really get things moving in that direction. And then the North Node is going to move in June. I believe it happens maybe right at the solstice. It moves into Aries. That is energy of choice and decision making. But because Chiron is there and Aries is the sign of the small child to begin with, and with Chiron there doing the healing, you're going to have a lot of opportunity over the next couple of years to really do this healing work. And so I feel like you're like kind of kicking off in that direction right now. It doesn't happen overnight. It is a process, and we have to retrain those tapes in our head, right? It's so easy to go back in and play the same negative self-talk tapes over and over. And so it's about changing the tapes, changing the thing that you say, changing the thing that keeps rolling around in your brain, and create something new for yourself. It's about communication. It's communication primarily to yourself, and then showing the world. Showing the world that you are changing, because when you shine your light out there, you're going to attract a higher frequency thing, and people will reflect back to you like this mirror. They will reflect back to you the changes that you are making. When you stop talking negatively about yourself, you will find that you attract people to you that also speak highly of you. It really works that way, because you have blue lace agate. Blue lace agate is the throat chakra. This is about communication. And you see these striations in it? It's the layering, right? It's the layering. We layer the stuff into our life, the experiences and the communication, and we start building, and it becomes our story. But right now you get a chance to write a new story. Communicate new things to yourself. Communicate new things to yourself, and then communicate about it to the world. And so it says, it is easy for me to express myself. I do believe the changes you are making internally will become externally visible to others, and you will get the kind of feedback that you need. And if you don't get the feedback you desire, you walk away. That's the opportunity here. Walk away from that. Don't let yourself get sucked down into the vortex. It is easy for me to express myself. I am understood, and I hear what others are communicating. And hearing what others communicate doesn't mean that you accept that as your truth. It means you hear what they're saying and you choose, because you're in the energy of choice, right? You're in the energy of choice. Fire signs are your choice, right? And so you've got the healing going on in an energy of choice. You've got this full moon happening in the energy of choice. So you get to choose. Choose what you feel, what you accept, what you take as what is your reality, and walk away from what doesn't. So I hear what people are communicating, and I hear that, and I think, that does not resonate with the vision I have for myself of myself. I hear what you are saying, and I love that. That supports me. That's what I want to hang out with, is that energy. So speak the truth and listen well. Listen well. You speak your truth. You listen to others. Are they resonating on the level that you are aspiring to, that you are working on, that you are elevating to? Have the courage to say what you need to say. This allows you to be heard. It also encourages you to read between the lines. To read between the lines. I hear what you're saying. Is that supportive? If it is not, I wish you well. But I'm going to do what's right for me, and I'm moving on. It is a very empowering full moon. Very empowering. So, what is true for you? I think you get a lot of clarity on that. And you have a lot of support from the universe. So, Gemini, you take really good care of yourselves. I'm on Facebook every day if you want to check in over there. I'd love to see you. And if you haven't checked out your reading for this week yet, I will link it here. We'll link it up here. All right, you guys take good care. I'll talk to you soon.